guys, it's Millie with Millie's Vines, and today I wanted to do not even really a get ready with me because I'm already ready, but I wanted to do a morning in the life of a plant person with over 50, 60, 70 plants. I'm honestly not sure. I haven't counted in months, but I feel like the biggest question that any plant collector gets asked is how do you care for that many plants? And I think the assumption is that the plant care is required all at the same time, and that's just not how it is. And I always try to say that you almost have like a motherly instinct when you become a plant person, guy or girl. You start to have an instinct of who needs care and when. And for me, I'm not the most organized. Like, I don't have a calendar, I don't have like a sheet of like when I last watered things. I just have an intuition, and I don't know if others are like that, but I wanted to just show you guys a quick morning off, and that typically entails going around and checking on my plants and seeing what's pertinent and seeing what can be saved for another day. So if you're new here, hi, I am Millie with Millie's Vines, and I would love to have you stick around. For my current subscribers, I am so thankful for you guys. I am truly, truly grateful. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'm so happy to have you all here. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so we're gonna start in my bedroom. We're gonna start by finishing the bed, which apparently I did not do this morning. Whoopsie daisy. The best part of the morning to me is turning on my lights and opening my windows, which are very loud. I think that's the best part of every plant person's morning. Is it not? Is it just me? I've got these little things that hold these blinds back because without it, they take up like a third of the window, and so much of me wants to just remove these tracks altogether, but I'm in an apartment and I feel like I can get in trouble for that, so I'm not going to do it. These guys are grow lights just because I want to make sure that my Hoya table receives enough light, and I don't know, probably not needed, but they look nice. And they're also functional. I literally just put in grow lights from Home Depot here into the bulbs, and it works like a charm. I used to have a grow light up here too, but to be honest, this is west exposure and I didn't think that it was necessary anymore, and it didn't look that great. So we foregoed the light there, and I think we're getting plenty of lighting in here. The first thing I need to do this morning, this guy's actually so thirsty that he might not bounce back. So we're going to try to water him today. We're going to see if he lives. I'm very sorry to this plant. It's just, these hanging plants are not for the weak, y'all. You need to understand you're going to have to get a ladder out. I mean, for me, I literally straddle the bed and this table. It's a crazy experience, but that is first on my list. I mean, some of these pieces are like so crispy. It might be too far gone, but we're going to see. We're going to see, and we're going to start there. Because I love y'all, I'm going to partially show how I do this without getting the ladder. My partner is going to not be happy at me for this, but it's just easier. My ladder is like out in the storage unit, and I just can't be bothered. So we're going to get this guy down. One thing, hold on. Ugh. One thing that I will say is I need to have a plastic nursery pot plate at the bottom of this so I can just come in and water it on top. This is the only one that I don't have one of those on, and that is part of the reason why I never seem to water him. So as we can see, he is just, I mean, there's so many dried leaves. This is just a reality, y'all. Like, I just waited too long on this guy. I continually wait too long on this guy, and he keeps bouncing back, and I'm so appreciative, but this is not okay, and I need to be a better plant parent. This is all from lack of water. Lack of water, lack of water. I'm not starting this video off strong, but I am being honest, and you know what? We appreciate the honesty, right, guys? So I'm kind of coming in and not even pruning these. I'm just like pulling these dried bits off. You can see they like have no more color. Another telltale sign that you waited too long to water is when leaves start to do this. That is not a good sign. Not a good sign, ladies and gents. So learn from my mistakes. But we're going to give her or him a good drink and see if we can bring it back to life. On an ideal day, I would come in with filtered water and probably fertilizer and water this, but today is not that day, and I'm just showing y'all a realistic morning routine. So I am using my kitchen sink. I am hosing this thing down for quite some time because she's beyond parched, and I find the best way to get a thorough water is to just do it a few times. And especially since this guy gets so much light, I'm not really worried about overwatering because clearly that is not an issue for me. Now we're gonna hit it with another round of water. Another misconception too that some people have when they first get into plants is that overwatering means that you're giving it too much water when you do water. And in my opinion, I feel that overwatering means that the frequency in which you're watering is too high. Because when a plant is this thirsty, or when a plant is thirsty in general, they need to be thoroughly saturated. So I don't think you can really overwater it in one sitting unless you have a medium that's like heavy in peat moss or just like super moisture retaining and doesn't have a lot of drainage. If that's the case, then yeah, you might overwater it in one sitting, but I don't run into that issue too much. Last round of water. Okay, now we're going to go check on everything else. So these two guys, I remember watering my micans not too long ago. It's looking nice and plump, and I don't think that she needs water, maybe in like 3 to 4 days, but I think I watered her not too long ago. This Hoya, I always do a quick taco test to see how she's doing. I'm working on not underwatering my Hoyas so much. I did go through a phase of underwatering Hoyas. I don't think they appreciated that too much. I would say this guy's getting close. It's not super, super soft. It still has a lot of stiffness to it, but when it's kind of like paper-like, you've probably gone past the point of it needing water, but there's still a lot of stiffness here, so I'm probably going to come back to this one in 2 to 3 days. That's the other thing I would say when you have a large collection is you kind of need to space things out based on priority. So if you can tell that something can go a couple more days and it won't be bad or detrimental for the plant, wait a couple more days and space things out to where you're not trying to do everything all at once. That really helps me. Now we're at my Hoya table. I'm going to do the same thing and just come in and see if anything feels flimsy. I watered these kind of recently. When I do the taco test, I'm doing it at the base of the plant, so not necessarily the length. I'm coming in and getting the ones right at the base. This seems like it's just, what in the world is happening here? Okay, weird. This one is probably could be watered. We're going to pull it aside. I just watered this one recently. It's nice and firm. This guy is, you see, like that's too much. So she's getting watered. My Calistophylla is like so thirsty for some reason. The new leaves feel good. The old leaves are way too thirsty. This is just the reality, guys. I am a chronic underwater, but that's why I love Hoyas, because they might not grow as fast as they should, but they do forgive me. This guy is pretty good. So we're going to take these 3 to the sink. We're going to water. My Hoyas, I drench in water as well. Surprise, surprise. As I'm watering this, I'm also going to quickly spray it down with Orchid Bloom Spray. I have said this in some of my other videos. You guys probably already know it if you are familiar to Hoyas, but they are epiphytes, so they do appreciate uptaking nutrients, water, fertilizer through their leaves as well, not just the base of the plant. So it's a good way to just be well-versed and comprehensive when you're caring for your Hoyas, is to make sure that they're getting some nutrients through their leaves as well. You want to make sure that you're watering all around the plant, not just one area. That should be good. Then we are going to give these a quick spray down, nothing too crazy. I drench my Hoyas in this monthly. You could do twice a week if you want. Don't inhale this, it makes you cough immediately, which is probably not a good sign, but I do love this stuff. Okay, we're gonna bring this guy back while the Hoyas are drying off. You're welcome in advance for seeing the reality of how I get this plant up here. I always have to kind of think about it because you gotta be really, really focused for this. Ugh. And now I'm just making sure none of the leaves are smushed in this macrame hanger, spreading it out a little bit, and saying a prayer because, again, I waited too long for her. And I'm sorry, I do apologize. Okay, Hoyas are nice and hydrated. We're going to place these back in their little spots. And then that is all for the bedroom. So you can see it's not too bad. Some of them needed water, some of them didn't. And that's kind of just how I structure caring for them. And while I'm going around making mental notes, I just try to remind myself, like, in a couple days, I will water that Hoya, and the Micans I'll probably water in like 4 days. So I kind of just make mental notes and hope that I remember. Okay, now we're just going to do a quick walkthrough of plants in the living room. Syndapsis, if they're thirsty, they're going to curl up. That one's doing good thanks to me repotting it into a much bigger pot. This guy, honestly, it's a little tricky for me to know how he needs water or not. I feel a little bit of moisture in there, so we're going to leave it. This guy's usually pretty vocal when he's thirsty. Same thing with the Brazil that I just watered. I would say it's not urgent right now, but that's probably like 2 days out. So I'll just remind my future self of that. Melanochrysum, probably about the same. It's still got some moisture in there. My Cebu will like drop when it's thirsty. I potted this into a ceramic pot and it's already needing so much less water. So I'm very thankful for doing that. This guy I just watered yesterday, also a Syndapsis. This guy will get super thirsty and will curl his leaves under. You want to catch it before that. I just watered my, what do you call it? My linearis, because I just did a video on it. I just did a thorough video on care for this plant. She's good. My Polynera was super thirsty the other day. She is good because I just watered her yesterday. We've got some new leaves coming out too. And they're already sizing up so much, which is crazy. I love that plant. My, let's see, Spiritus Sancti is in such a big pot that it's always kind of a risk watering. I would say I might be able to water that one today. I'm not totally sure. We will come back to her. My Cronii is in a much bigger pot and is finally just like stiff and happy and about to put out 2 blooms. This thing, if you guys want a Hoya that blooms, I have dirt underneath right now. If you guys want a Hoya that blooms, this guy is your guy. This is a Hoya Cronii Silver Splash, I believe. And it is so nice and firm. Still have dirt on my hand. It's so nice and firm. So that one is good. I would say Spiritus Sancti, I might water. These 2 I will water in the next couple days. And over here, we've got my Ripsalis. I kind of just feel the stem towards the base of this plant, and it's feeling nice and stiff. I feel good on that one. My Peruvian apple cactus, let me see if I can get better lighting here. It will start to kind of wrinkle up when it's thirsty. I don't want to overwater this plant too much, and I do have top rocks on top of it, so it retains a little bit more moisture than you would think. This guy is good. My Syndapsis, this one is a little concerning. You can see it's starting to curl. It's looking thirsty, and I also repotted it, so I think she might just be a little bit upset. But that's okay. We're going to pull her aside and water her. Ripsalis, you guessed it. I'm going kind of on feel here. It's feeling nice and firm towards the base and towards the length of the leaves, so I'm going to leave that one. My Dayun is yellowing slightly, but outside of that, I don't water this one too much. She's in a big pot and it's a cycad, so we don't need a ton of water there. I'm going to leave her be. My Peperomia is good. Is she good? She's still kind of firm. We're going to give her 2 more days. She's starting to get a little flimsy here, but that might just be an off leaf, honestly. I think it is because the rest feel pretty firm. Jungle Boogie, hang in there, guys. We're almost done. This guy has some moisture left in it, like an inch or 2 down. I'm going to wait. Sansevieria, you know, that's a good question. I have not really done much to this plant. There's still moisture in there. We're good. I just watered this guy, I do remember, probably like 3 days ago. And my Monstera. I don't know if I have it in me to get in the shower today, but that one's probably next on the list. So I think most pertinent is this guy, obviously, maybe my Spirit of Sanctity. All right, more watering. My Spirit of Sanctity has a new leaf, which is very exciting. The last leaf was a little bit of a letdown, but it is nice and narrow, so I guess I'll take it. I usually just rinse down the leaves too as well, just to make sure they're not dusty or anything crazy like that. Okay, that should be good there. Last but not least, we have my outdoor plants. So it officially, I think it's reached 106 this week already, which is kind of tragic, but you know what? That is what we sign up for here in Arizona. So with that being said, I'm actually not going to water any of these right now because I'm working on only watering my outdoor plants in the evening. I find that sometimes they will almost like rot from overheating if I water them during the day. However, I'm going to make a mental note to water my bonsai in the summer. If I'm like the best plant parent ever, I'm watering this guy like daily. Reality is I probably water it every 2 to 3 days, but I would say daily on this guy. I'm probably going to water my euphorbia because it's been like a week or so, probably longer than a week. Monkey tail is in a giant pot. I'm going to leave her be. Most of these guys are super arid plants, so I'm gonna let them keep going with no water. My adenium is the only one. No, there's still some water in there. So I might water my gymnoclasium. I'm for sure going to water my bonsai and then my euphorbia. Everything else is more drought tolerant, so I feel comfortable just watering those 3 later tonight. So that's it. That was like less than 30 minutes and it really wasn't too bad. So what I'll say is for me, a lot of this is just like intuition and hoping that I remember when things need to be watered. If they don't need to be watered the second that I am doing all these things, I would just say the biggest thing that helps me is walking through my plant collection. And that way, if I'm feeling things, if I'm seeing things, I'm able to kind of remind myself a little bit more frequently. I found that I struggled with caring for everything when I wasn't doing these walkthroughs. So that's what I recommend if you have a day off or you have a morning where you woke up a little bit more early than usual, or even if you want this to be like your night routine, like 3 to 4 times a week. You don't have to do it every day, but I would recommend staying on top of it just so you are seeing your plants, you're familiar with where they're at, what they need, and you can kind of get ahead of the curve and not underwater your Brazil like I did. So I hope that was helpful. It's really not super overwhelming once you get comfortable with owning plants and you have a good routine. So it's definitely a misconception that everything needs water at the same time and you're sitting here taking 70 plus plants into the shower. It's not like that. It's more so just caring for like 4 to 5 plants each day, and maybe every once in a while you have a big like repotting session, or there's just things that can come up. There's pest issues that can come up, but for the majority, it's very manageable as long as you stay on top of it. But that is it for today's video. I hope this was helpful and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. If you have any other care tips that help keep you on top of things, if you do use like Planta or a calendar, definitely share down below so we can learn, I can learn. Clearly, I'm an overwaterer, so if you know some things, like I know hydroponics has been recommended, like a LECA type situation has been recommended for me. I'm just not up for the learning curve, but if you do have a routine that is super easy and hands off, let us know what it is. And I think that's it. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.